I'm Sheena Aline, your Caribbean College planner.
Have really strong grades, but they don't have the higher level math requirement.
And I've actually visited this lovely campus. Hi, I'm Sheena Aline, your Caribbean College planner and student advisor at the Student Center. Today I want to shed some light on CAPE, IB, and A-Levels and focus on what's the difference between these three types of qualifications that students use as a basis of admission when they're applying to colleges and universities to pursue a bachelor degree. Now, they are all good qualifications. I don't think one is better than the other. There are some differences in terms of the structure of the curriculum, how you take your exams, and maybe the type of institutions that may be delivering the exams, and of course costs associated with taking these subjects. There might be differences in the costs. I'll break it down for you. Let's start first with CAPE. Now, CAPE stands for the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination. This is delivered by the Caribbean Examination Council. Now, you will find that this might be delivered at a wider spectrum, because in a lot of countries, public schools will deliver this content for those of them that have a sixth form, or some state colleges might deliver it as part of their curriculum. And many people subscribe to the Caribbean Examination Council, many institutions, which is a large regional institution, and a lot of the public schools will subscribe to the CAPE curriculum. And there are some private schools that may subscribe to the CAPE curriculum as well. Now, with these exams, at minimum, you would choose 3 core subjects, and then you will take the mandatory Caribbean Studies and Communications. Most colleges and universities will ask for at least 6 units minimum, grades 1 till 3. Some may still take grade 4 depending on the type of program and the level of competitiveness, but grade 1 to 3 are the optimum grades that you would tend to look for, grade 1 being the highest, of course, and grade 3 being lower out of the 2. 4s and 5s are passes, yes, but they're not necessarily optimum grades that some schools may want you to have to gain entry. However, there are ways around that. And you would take them in 2 sets. So you would do your Unit 1 in your first year, and you would take your Unit 1 subjects, which you can use as a basis to apply. And in most cases, based on your Unit 1, you can calculate your predicted grades. And those are what you will use when you're coming from the CAPE curriculum when applying for direct admission into an undergraduate degree program, not just within your home country, but regionally as well as internationally. So moving on to A-Levels, which is UK based. It's Cambridge A-Levels, advanced level subjects. Most students will take at least 3 subjects. Now, Cambridge is a little bit different. You might hear some persons taking AS levels in their first year, and then they take their advanced levels in the second year. However, in some cases, some persons do not take AS levels and will take their advanced level subjects in one sitting in the second year. So for example, many moons ago, I did A-Levels and I took all of my exams in my second year, which was my final year. And I used that as a basis when applying. It still allowed me to apply to university from the beginning of my final year. And you just had to give your interim grades, your scores, and probably some predicted scores for schools to determine whether or not they would give you a conditional offer depending on the country or the type of institution you're applying to. So you did 3 subjects of your choosing. In some cases, some persons may only do 3 subjects. Some persons may do 4 because they might include a general paper, a general knowledge examination, which is equivalent to CAPE's Caribbean Studies and Communication Studies. All right, and that usually that's an essay-based type examination. So they will have 4 A-Levels, but 3 of which will be the subjects of their choosing depending on their interests. Now moving on to IB, and when I say IB, this is the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program. Now, some persons will take the full diploma. Some persons might just take IB courses to get the certificate. There is a difference between the 2 options. The full diploma is ideal. That opens you up to more options when it comes to applying. Most schools, especially if you're looking at Ivy League schools, are highly competitive schools or highly competitive programs. And depending on the country you're applying to, the full diploma is preferred. This does not mean that you can't use the IB certificate to gain entry into an undergraduate degree program, but your options might be a little bit more limited, and in some cases you might have to do a bridging before gaining direct admission into your bachelor degree program. The IB curriculum is a little bit more expansive and is divided into kind of a couple segments. So there are higher level courses and there are standard level courses, and you need a mixture of both. Ideally, if you're taking the program to gain entry into a bachelor degree program. So you must be cognizant of what universities are looking for. It's not just looking at the overall points. So some schools will want you to have maybe 36 points, 30 points. Some schools may take you at 28 points, but they will also ask for a certain amount of higher level courses, and they might specify the subjects, especially if there's a math requirement. And if there's a math requirement, depending on the area of interest you're looking at, for example, you want to do biology, you want to do biotech, you want to go into engineering, they might specify the math that you need to take and which level you need to take it at. So you have to be cognizant of that. And you have your theory of knowledge component, so that also offers you some additional bonus points for the full diploma. Now remember, you're either taking the full diploma, which is the recommended track that you take. However, if you just take IB courses to get the certificate, there are still options for you, but be prepared to do a bridging if you are looking at certain types of schools. Is one better than the other? No. It all depends on your personal circumstances. Some persons like IB, depending on the type of institution that they may seek to gain entry to take this program. IB is offered by a lot of boarding schools, not just, some might be offered locally. IB is not always available in your home country, depending on which Caribbean island you're based in. So some persons might go away to take the IB program, or some persons are lucky enough to have IB offered locally. And so some persons might also want that study abroad experience and may choose an IB school because they think it gives them, I guess, an added edge. And in some cases, it could depend on how the school is positioned. But you can still comfortably do A-levels, you can still comfortably do CAPE, and in many cases, earn transfer credits with either qualification. So CAPE can allow you to gain transfer credits as well. A-levels, depending on your grades, can also give you some transfer credits, and so can IB. It is really based on what you're looking for at this stage. So explore all three options. You can use all to gain entry into an undergraduate degree program. Just do your research, check to see the cost associated. In some cases there isn't a cost, depending on which Caribbean country you're coming from when it comes to the CAPE. So for example, in Barbados, if you're in a public secondary school system, there's not necessarily a cost with you taking the CAPE, not a direct cost at least. But if you are doing A-levels, if you are doing IB, we find a lot of those are offered by private schools, so obviously there's a cost associated with that. Do your research first, but these are some of the curriculum that are available to you when you finish your O-levels, your CSEC, or moving on from your primary IB or a certain part of your IB program into the last 2 years to get your diploma. Definitely do your research and see what works for you. Now this segment is brought to you by the Student Center, your official guide to higher education.